Hello, and welcome back to our playthrough of The Adventurer. Previously on our story, our goblin protagonist had a tearful reunion with her long-dead grandmother in the inner sanctuary of the Temple of the Lady of the Moon. Meanwhile, tensions continue to rise between the radical new arrivals and the old priests of the temple, and our protagonist is getting dragged right into the middle of it. What'll happen next? Will tensions continue to rise? Will they come to a head? Will violence ensue? And what of the mysterious humans that began all this conflict so long ago? Will they raise their ugly head again once more? Stay tuned to find out, because I genuinely don't know. It depends upon the cards we draw. But for a more detailed recap of the rules and the story so far, please check out my previous episodes. Otherwise, let's get to drawing. Our thing card of the week is dun, 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 a curse or spell. Interesting. Ooh, that suggests conflict. Oh, I like the sound of that, but between whom? To find out, let's draw our being card. Dun 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 dun. Our being card this week is an unknown presence. Okay, things are getting dramatic and mysterious. Ooh, I'm liking this. But finally, our theme of the week to tie it all together is dun, 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 the Emperor Reversed, which, according to my sources, signifies tyrant, domineering, rigid, stubborn, lack of discipline, recklessness. Ooh, okay. I get the feeling it's going to be an intense one this week. Oh, man. Oh, I'm liking this. Okay, but let's see what happens.
Ostenti T. Vermis. On the 10th day after arriving at the temple. Am I going mad, Journal? I would know if I were, wouldn't I? If you were just the ramblings of a madwoman, Journal, that would be obvious to me, wouldn't it? On the night I first wrote to you, Journal, I thought I might go insane, so filled was I with fear and grief. But since then, though times have been hard, I have not felt as I did then. But since then I have seen many things that I thought were impossible. Things that defied my senses and my sense of the world. Perhaps I did go insane that night, and I have been haunted by lunacy ever since. But between these impossible things there has been such ordinariness. Forgive me if I have not shared it with you, Journal, but that is because it is so dull. Indeed, life at the temple has become a normal routine, where what happens is predictable and logical. Yet twice since coming here I have seen my dead grandmother, and today I saw something else besides. I fear my madness is getting repetitive, Journal, but once again I must ask your help to figure out what is real and what wasn't. Since I broke into the inner sanctuary, I have been avoiding he who cuts in darkness, since I cannot tell him the truth of what I saw or think of a lie that would appease him. This is difficult, as he is insistent and brash. In truth, I grow weary of it and of him. I have had to move my sleeping place 3 times. Lately, the radicals have been less brazen and open about their disdain for temple life. I do not know if this is good or bad thing. Likewise, I have not spoken openly to she who sings in moonlight. It would not do to avoid her the way I avoid he who cuts in darkness. That would be too suspicious. But I do not open up to her as I did when I first arrived. I tell her only trivial things that do not show my thoughts. It has been lonely doing this. I feel like an alien among my own people. Can you go mad from loneliness? No, I am not at that point yet, and I have Rapunzel, bless her. She is the only one other than you I can tell all to, though I have not told her of today. That is too mad even for her patient ears. But I do not know what I would do without her. Rapunzel warns me if he who cuts in darkness or his gang is approaching me, so I can flee. She also spies on people of the temple. I told her not to do this, but she tells me about it at length anyway. It is from her that I know radicals are not getting used to their life here, and priests hope they are, and that they are quiet only because they are planning something, though what even they have not yet decided. Damn it, I have distracted myself with useless writing. Is that a sign of madness? No, just me putting off thinking about the thing I dread. All that was to say that I have spent much time hiding away from people in small, dark, tucked-away places, the kind that you can find in any goblin tunnel. Although given how crowded these tunnels are, I have to go very deep indeed to find these spaces. In those hours, I reread your pages, journal, trying to decide what I believe about grandmother, about death, about... Anyway, I was reading by the light of the stub of a candle, which Rapunzel stole from me from the general storeroom. One more thing I tell her not to do, but that helps me nonetheless. It was when I was reading like this that I saw the shadow. I was in an abandoned closet. The floor was small, but the walls were high. When I looked up to check how much candle I had left, I saw a shadow on the wall opposite me. It was person-shaped, so at first I thought it was my own shadow, made long and thin in the way of shadows. But that didn't make sense, because the candle was between me and the wall. Then I thought it might be a trick of the light, but the shadow grew darker and clearer. Fool that I am, I did not do anything, but just sat there in growing fear. It became as large and lanky as a human, kept getting darker to the point where the room became dark because of it. Then it reached out its hand, stretched into the space of the closet. It touched your pages, and on those previously blank pages, strange alien words emerged. For some reason, this scared me more than the thing itself. I screamed then, tore out the pages, and kicked over the light of the candle. I spent a long time terrified in the darkness, just as I had when I first met you. Since then, I have been staying on the upper floors, where there are holes to let in sunlight. Goblins do not like sunlight as a rule, but I want it now. Have I gone mad, journal? Am I doomed to visions of horrors for the rest of my days? How much of what I thought I saw in the last few weeks was real? If it is real, then what does that mean? To think I once only feared of death by a sword or human magic, and not for the state of my apparently immortal soul. Human magic. Journal, this is worse than I expected. I fear that I am not mad at all. I may have to burn your pages yet.
Well, that was session 10. Hope you enjoyed it. Tension continues to develop between the radicals and the priests of the temple, leading now to a decisive action. I promise I am going to write a conclusion to that plotline. But in the meantime, our protagonist continues to question her own faith, and new conflict emerges as a mysterious presence, potentially the work of human magic, is made manifest to her deep within the bowels of the temple to the Lady of the Moon. What will happen next? I'm as excited to find out as you, but stay tuned and we'll find out together.